green left, and there's a small button over here that says power supply. I'm going to swing it out just slightly. It says main power, and we're going to push that button and the sound system all will come on. Now I'm going to turn back to this way, and then after a few minutes we'll pan further to the right to go through some items. Now, the HOA purchased 6 wireless microphones. If I'm not mistaken, there are 2 handheld wireless microphones, and there are 4 clip-on belt pack headset microphones that they use for plays and performances. The equipment list consists of 6 wireless receivers that work with the 6 wireless microphones. This is an audio mixer that controls the level for all of the microphones. And this is a power amplifier. This power amplifier controls the volume going to the left and right ceiling speakers located out in the main room. What we're going to do for demonstration purposes is, as I'm talking, we're going to turn on some music, and that way we'll have a CD that we can use it to show you what's happening. We also have to our right some existing equipment the HOA owned based on this rack mountable, what they call a line mixer. I have it labeled accordingly, where we have the TV and DVD, the radio volume control. We've added a computer cable in case they'd like to have audio playing from a computer, and we have the master volume over here. We'll go through this in detail after a few minutes. We're going to go back and start with the primary sound system and work through how these components work. First of all, this is a handheld wireless microphone. Taking the battery compartment off, it operates with 2 AA batteries. They have been set accordingly and work in conjunction with the receiver. The wireless microphone and the receivers work together. If you wanted to do something just as simple as coming into the building, turning on the sound system, and turning on a microphone to make an announcement, I currently have microphone number 1. Microphone number 1 lines up with receiver number 1, and if we looked here at the mixer, I hope we can see it on the video, this says hand 1. So they're all labeled accordingly. Hand 1, hand 2, lav 1, which are what we call the belt packs and the headsets, lav 1, lav 2, lav 3, lav 4. This channel is purposely left open right now. And then we have channels 8, 9, and 10. They work with a junction box we have installed by the fireplace that also have labels for microphone numbers 8, 9, and 10. The reason we did that is someone could take a regular wired microphone, plug it into one of the units over there, and they could control from here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to reach down here on the bottom. There's an on-off switch, which I'm going to push and hold for a couple minutes. Hopefully our batteries are good. That light will flash, and now we have microphone number 1. Testing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Check test 1, 2. And that is the ceiling speakers that we hear in the audio system. Now, if I look at my mixer, I can see that there's a green light flashing as I speak. That is an indicator that something is going on in this channel. That means if I'm controlling this channel, I can turn my volume down or up accordingly. By doing that, I also have the capability of coming up here and pushing the white button right above it, and that mutes the microphone. It still shows that it's being used, and I'm still speaking in the microphone, but obviously you don't hear it through the sound system because the channel is muted. So if you see a red light, then that means red is stop, green is go, check test 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's my wireless microphone. So again, to make something very simple as far as walking into the building, turning the sound system on, taking a wireless microphone, mashing the button on the bottom to turn it on, check testing 1, 2, making sure it's unmuted, then I can have a meeting or a general, just any type of event that I'd like to have. Okay, for these purposes I'm going to mute this microphone. Now let's say that I have a microphone in my hand and we're having a meeting and I may want to mute the microphone and not let anybody hear what I say. If I touch the bottom again lightly, you'll see the red light. If I touch it, it's green, it works. If I touch it again, it's red, it's muted. If I wish to turn the microphone off, then if I hold it for 2 seconds, it will go off. This works with both of the handhelds and the belt packs. The belt packs are a small little belt clip, and they have the exact same number that coincides with the sound system. I'm going to leave this up here for now. Okay, down in this section, well, if we know what one channel does, it doesn't matter what the rest of the mixer does. We have purposely set the mixer up with our tone control the way that the HOA currently likes it. So honestly, there should be little or no adjustment needed. But a couple of things. The HOA also bought what they call condenser microphones. Now, I apologize, I don't see them out anywhere, and I've looked for them. But they are what normally we would call a choir microphone or a condenser microphone. Condenser microphone means that it picks up at a great distance. Once we were doing the demonstration, we put these microphones on a boom stand, and we understand they have a play or performance that takes place in front of the fireplace. That's the reason why we have set up the sound system in stereo. For example, if I take the choir microphones and plug those up in the box by the fireplace, those microphones are going to be very close to one side of the sound system. So therefore, I have taken channels 8, 9, and 10, and I've gone right above here to this gray button right here. This is called pan switch. Pan switch works like a stereo system. For example, if I'm listening to music and I pan it to the left, then I hear music only on the left speaker. If I pan it to the right, then I'm hearing music only on the right speaker. So for those 3 microphones in particular, I have panned the signal onto this side of the room, which allows us to get more volume out of the microphones before feedback and squealing. The rest of the controls are panned straight up and down, meaning that if I were to speak back in this wireless microphone now, that sound would equally come out of both sides. Just one of the little catches here for the sound system. The condenser style microphones that the choir would use or any other event, then that's the reason we panned it to that side, to get it away from the microphone system and send sound more to the back of the room, obviously where people are going to be sitting. Very important that this little switch right here, this is called 48 volt phantom power. Now you can see that there's a green light here, and that is a recessed button. That button should stay on and should stay down at all times. If that button is up for some reason and the light is off, then specific microphones, particularly the choir microphones that were supplied, will not work at all. All the other microphones will work, but the condenser style microphones will not. Now, in conjunction with what the HOA owned, I'm going to turn the camera over there in just a second. This unit right here, this channel right here, we call it media. And because we have a variety of items over in the other mixer, TV, DVD player, CD player, radio. So I believe I have a CD in here now, so I'm just going to hit play and see if a CD starts playing. If there's one in there, I should have checked ahead of time. Okay. So now we got some Chuck Berry going on. This system operates independently. I left this purposely like that because the ladies like to come in the morning and have a dance class or an aerobics class. So they can operate this system just like they have in the past. But I've also installed a cable to come out of here and into our small line mixer that was previously on. And that line mixer comes over here to our media. So I'm going to pan back. Now, this is what controls sound through the speaker system if I wish to listen to the TV, if I wish to listen to the DVD player, or if I wish to listen to the radio or my CD player. Keep in mind that the ladies can come in here in the morning and they can put a CD in here and turn this on without affecting any other portion of the sound system at all. Also, they could put sound in here, obviously like we have now, and we could come over to this section. And then we have audio playing through the whole sound system. Now, with that same note, let me pan over here, because this is one of the tricky parts to it. Alright, if we notice, this little guy here has a whole bunch of knobs on it. It doesn't matter what they do because this section is not being used, this section is not being used, this section is not being used. This particular section is because it says TV and DVD volume. This section is used because it says radio, and this is a cable that we have installed called computer, which means if someone brings their computer up here, ties the computer to the TV, we can plug our cable into it, and we would also have audio in case they had a slideshow presentation they would like to do. If we leave these two master volumes at straight up and down, 12 o'clock, then I can come over here, and if I wish to have my computer play, I can unmute it or take the mute switch off, and I have a volume control right here that controls the amount of sound only for my computer. If I wish to hear the radio, then I can unmute that and turn that up, and of course my song's ending right now so we won't be able to tell. Here we go. Now our sound system, our radio or CD player is playing through the sound system in the house. So the red switch or the small push button is called a mute switch, which means it turns everything off. Now, let's say I want to listen to my TV. Right now I have the news playing up on the existing TV.
But it's amazing.
And I've unmuted the channel, and if I have the weather channel or whatever we want to listen to, football,
to the overall,
I can come back here and I can bring the volume up and down.
Color is an amazing thing what it will do, and especially when you team it up with the trim color. So there's variation there that you can do, and profiles that you can do to really make the house stand out. Those architectural details make all the difference.
And quickly, we'll leave with this, because I think
this also comes back into my master volume, which is this control here. So therefore, let's say that I was trying to listen to my TV system,
tenure, that understanding
and I couldn't hear it anywhere. I'd have to come over here to see if my channel was muted. So the TV plugs in here, the CD player radio plugs into here, the computer cable comes into here, and then a cable comes out of this little mixer all the way over here to my media channel.
And
I can leave that like it is. I can turn that up according to.
I want to be backed by that plumbing product that they're going to be using. So because then
I'm muting the TV, and we're going to talk about one other device, and that is a stage monitor. A stage monitor is a separate speaker that we have installed that will allow a choir or performers to listen to music back through a monitor speaker. It is individually controlled on this audio mixer. I'm going to pan back. Now, for example, our audio mixer, our monitor speaker, we would have to plug it up over at the small box by the fireplace. There is a label that says monitor. There are cables here that say monitor, and then the monitor speaker itself says monitor, so there's nothing we can do to not make that work. We have to plug that speaker in to some type of electricity, and then we can go through and we can purposely select what we would like to go through that monitor. For example, if I had my handheld microphone number 1 and I was speaking into this microphone, I could come up to this second red button right here that says monitor, and if I turn that monitor level up, my voice would come through the microphone and out through that monitor speaker. This would be used if I were singing or somebody was performing with some music or soundtrack. If we were playing our CD player or TV or any other device, I could come up here to the second red knob that says monitor, and I can select how much of my music or my CD goes out to the monitor speaker on the other side of the room. Just like I could add channels, any particular channel I'd like. The lavalier, the headsets, the handheld mics, or anything accordingly. That's pretty much the settings of the mixer. That's the only 3 things we would be doing. Turning the sliders up and down to control volume, muting it or unmuting it, deciding where the pan control means that the speakers would air more towards the entrance side of the building, and if or when we would like to have any type of sound going out to our monitor speaker that is independent. Most of the master volume controls are set at